Hey, it's Nathan again. Thanks for watching Nice at Dice. I'm doing a quick review of my past month. That would be September 2015, my month in gaming. Just filling you in on what's been going on with me, gaming-wise, new games that I've played, how my personal gaming projects are coming along. So to get right into it, I had a couple of really fun game nights this past month. I played a new game on one occasion called Maximum Throwdown. Not really a new game per se, but it was new to me. It's a dexterity game, very simple game where you're basically just throwing cards onto the table, trying to cover up your opponent's cards, keep as many of your cards showing, and you score based on that. It's very simple, very straightforward, but pretty fun for a light dexterity game. I also had the opportunity to play Star Realms as a 4-player game, which is the first time I've done that. I've only played it as a 2-player game before that. As a 4-player game, it seems to work fine. It was fun, it was still fast, no hiccups really from that, so that was a pretty cool experience, a lot of fun. I also had the opportunity to travel to New York over the last couple of weeks, and while I was in New York, I visited a board game cafe called the Uncommons in Manhattan. And it was a really cool place. I'll probably be writing an article on my blog where I'll talk more about it. But while I was there, my wife and I were able to play Star Wars Risk, the latest version of Star Wars Risk, which, as I understand, is actually like a revamp or a streamlined version of a much earlier Star Wars board game called Queen's Gambit, which was based on the climax of Star Wars Episode 1. This game is based on the climax of Episode 6, the Battle of Endor, and it's really neat. You have like the space battle going on, which is probably the part of the game that most closely resembles Risk. But really the game is not very much like Risk. That's the part that most closely resembles Risk, but still, don't go into this expecting it to really be Risk. I think they just put the name Risk on the box to draw in more casual gamers who would be familiar with your standard Risk game. But you have that space battle going on in the middle, and then like off to the side you have the duel between Luke and Vader going on, with the Emperor influencing that a little bit, and then on the other side of the board you have the Rebel commandos trying to infiltrate the base on Endor to shut down the shield. So interesting, for 2 players having to balance those 3 different aspects of the game. You're trying to prevail in the duel, you're trying to either hold the rebels off on Endor or trying to push forward on Endor if you are the rebels, and then meanwhile you're maneuvering your ships in the middle. My overall impression of it was there was a little bit too much going on for as short as the game was. You didn't really have time to really build up to a climax. It just kind of like you got into it and then it was over. So that was my impression of it with just one play. I'm probably not going to be able to do like a full review of that game because we just played it at the cafe while we were there. But overall, it seemed like a fun, but perhaps a little too light of a game for my taste. Those are the new games that I played. I didn't buy any new games this month, or this past month. As far as projects that I'm working on, last month I talked about this game War Camp. You can watch my last month's video for a general overview of that. But over the past month I had the opportunity to play test that with my brother. There's some definite flaws in the design, but being able to play test it and then kind of brainstorm with him some solutions to those flaws, I think I've got a good idea of how I can improve the game moving forward. So I'll be working on that some more in the coming month, and hopefully have another iteration of the game that is free of those flaws. Over the past month, not directly related to gaming, but sort of related, is I've changed over to this new YouTube channel, as you're probably aware since you're watching this video, and I've renamed my blog so that I have a brand across both my blog and my YouTube channel of Nice at Dice. If you haven't read my blog, you can check it out at nice-at-dice.blogspot.com. I'll put a link in the description. You can find articles there. Like I mentioned, I'll probably do an article about that board game cafe in Manhattan, so if you're interested in that, go check that out. And thank you again for watching Nice at Dice.